That's what you should do.
What up? What up? What up, world? We're back, man. I'm
Yeah.
Anthony, aka Rasta. I'm here with Frank. What's up, Frank?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? I couldn't even wait for the countdown to finish. I was just like, I haven't been on in a while. Seems like,
Right,
um,
just jumping into the mix.
but I was just like, let's just get started, man. We're already a little behind, so thank you to everybody that's watching. What's up, man? It is May 16th, and we're grading a Friday night mock, man. We had our Friday the 13th draft. I was in there. I couldn't be on the stream, but I was able to get in the mock itself.
Get in the mock. Nice.
We will bring that up here in a second. Of course, I do want to just let's just get the basic stuff out of the way. Of course, UnderdogDynasty.com. If you haven't already, go sign up for an account. Get in there, Best Ball Mania 2. The winner from last year was drafted in June, so get in there now. Get those mocks in, get that value, and try to take it home, man. Use the promo code GetRight. It helps us out. So let's just get that out of the way. And also, got to say what's up. The Dim Boys in the house. What's up, Dim Boys?
Yeah, right. Always first again.
First in there. We got Jonah, Archmage Eternal. Welcome back. LFG, hyped to finally be back watching the streams. So we are here. We're going to be getting into a lot of stuff, man. We got Dynasty rookie drafts going on.
Yeah.
It is pretty much Dynasty season right now. As you guys know, this is pretty much a redraft show. We'll start to, steer content that way as well, too, as we continue to grow. But, for the most part, it's time for those mocks. We're getting down and dirty. And we're going to kick it off. Of course, we're going to get the mock tournament of championships going again this year, most likely. That was real fun last year. All the winners of those mocks ended up dropping into a best ball league, and the winner of that took down $50. Our one and only Tycoon took that down. Yeah, Tycoon took that one down. Shout out to Tycoon for getting into that. So it'll be a lot of fun, man. We're going to have fun this offseason, basically this draft season, and we're going to get your mocks right. We're going to be doing this like crazy. We're going to be bringing a lot of people here to you, getting in these mocks. Just trying to, help construct these teams. We're going to break them down. We give our grades, and that's what we're going to do. Not too much, news-wise going on. Obviously, mini camps going on for rookies. No one real big time is, kind of reporting at this point. Rookies are in there. Treylon Burks is having some breathing issues. He missed, he left practice early. What else is there out there, Frank?
Well, Malik Willis not competing for the Titans starting quarterback job, which, it's kind of expected.
You were big on him.
I am.
You're big on him this year.
I have him as a rookie. I don't think he was going to start by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
I think he's going to be a good football player. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I see a lot of in him. So that's why I took him in the Dynasty League. You know what I mean? And then I think you mentioned one other person being Melvin Ingram signing with the Dolphins.
They're
just
nice sign.
adding,
Sneaky little sign there.
They're trying to improve some things over there in the Dolphins. So I mean, like you're saying though, there's really not that much news worthy other than some guys signing contracts, all these rookies and whatever. Most of them finalizing deals and just getting on with rookie camps and things like that.
Yeah. And of course, there's the Deshaun Watson information out there. Apparently, NFL's meeting with him in Texas, and they're going to be wrapping up that investigation. So hopefully, we'll get some news on that here soon. Obviously, first and foremost, all things aside, we wish we wouldn't be in this situation, but this is a fantasy show, so we're not going to get into that other stuff. As far as fantasy purposes go, we're trying to find out what that suspension is potentially going to be.
Yeah. Is he playing
Is
and
it going to
when?
be considered? Yeah, is it
That's
going
all
to
that
be
matters.
considered serve since he did miss all of last year? What is going to happen with that? So we'll just kind of see.
Yeah. See, I don't
how
think
that
he
goes
was.
down.
I don't think he was suspended last year or couldn't play. They just chose not to play him. You know what I mean? Which is different. So I don't think that he's going to get time served in that manner.
Right. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Dustin
Another
saying
one
he's here more early.
just
Just
talking
quick
about
shout out.
those
What's
is,
up, Dustin?
Jerry Judy got arrested on Thursday.
Yeah. I
That's
think they
another
talked about that on the Friday show. I think
the-
Mike got to talk about it. Him and Cody, part of the 2-day podcast. Welcome to Get Right Fantasy Network, Cody. Mr. McGoats himself. We're trying to expand here at the network. So if you haven't already, go like the 2 days podcast. You'll check it out. Content will be dropping soon. So you want to get into this draft, man? Or anything else you want to touch on as far as the news goes? Like, for me, as far as Deshaun goes, we're just waiting to see what happens there.
Should we take this question before we start? Because this has not because
we're
gonna do a Dynasty draft, right?
We're doing Dynasty tonight. So
let's just get this. This is a redraft question. Where are you guys taking CMC? I am not taking him in the first round. I think me and Mike and I talked about it last episode about his now injury history because it's been 2 years in a row. I just don't see if it's not the same injury, it's another injury. You know what I mean? Because it was first a hammy and then the shoulder. You know what I mean? So maybe it was
guys
just some
do
luck.
sometimes eventually get healthy. I mean, don't forget DeMarco Murray, right? He was hurt. The next thing you know, they trade him off. He goes crazy, right? So I'm just saying, it has happened.
Okay. I think he's a breakable. He's a breakable, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, there it is. For me, I mean,
boys, I'd take him sometime in the second. He agrees with me.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, he's definitely not 101 anymore. I think anything after that really is a steal if you can still get him at like the 108, 109. It is redraft. It is a new year. Dynasty might be a different story. He's still young. I mean, I'd still take a chance. He's still the best player pretty much on that team. So that offense is going to run through him. And they really have nothing to lose. So, why not run it out? Running backs don't really cost you that much. They can easily move on from him if he does continue to get hurt. And to me, I think as far as fantasy goes, that makes for a nice, situation. So
I'd love to get him on the turn.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to just snag him early second round.
You go around, boom, boom, and grab him right there at the end, and break it back around. And
exactly.
then you'd have the other guy that you already want. You know what I mean? So you don't feel as scared about taking him.
Definitely. And if he falls to the third, I mean, easily.
Oh, he's not falling to the third. I don't think he's gonna fall.
And Superflex, maybe. I'd have to look up what we did.
Oh yeah, Superflex for sure. He could fall to the third easily, maybe even the fourth.
Yeah, I'm interested to see now. I'm looking at not last Friday's, but the Friday before. He went at the 111. So I think that's good value.
How many running backs at that point?
He was the RB3 off the board. It went Taylor, Harris, McCaffrey. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the Dynasty startup. Hold on, it's coming here.
It's coming.
It's coming up here. He was actually RB2 off the board at the 1-7
on this,
Superflex. So RB2. He was RB2. First round 1-7 RB2 off the board in a startup Superflex redraft.
It was first Taylor?
Yep. Okay. Then Eckler, Harris, Cook, Henry, Kamara, Swift.
Yeah, which brings me to this draft because I wanted to mention that. Something about that. Where did Kamara go?
Kamara went 2-7.
See? And there's a lot of concern about that. how much is he going to be suspended, if anything?
Yeah.
I don't think
So a
he's
lot
going
of
to get
stuff
off like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So he says, would you draft him for trade bait, especially around the turn area? Yeah, anywhere between
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
111, you know, anything after that,
I think that'd be the
to me,
sweet
that's a
spot.
steal. Yeah, I mean, especially if he's the second player on your team. I mean, why not take the gamble? Anybody's bound to get hurt. So why not take a guy that, when he's healthy, pretty much puts 20 on the board in a PPR, if not more? So more power to you. All right.
Right?
Anyway, appreciate it, Jonah. Keep the questions coming, guys. Drop them in the chat. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the description. Go down in there. Join our sleeper app, our private channel. We have a lot of cool perks in there. Just come in, join the community. I guess it's kind of like a Discord. I guess we should probably start a Discord. I think Dem Boys mentioned that to us. But we're trying to keep stuff free. We just want to grow the content, grow the channel. We'll eventually get there. But for now, we just want the support, man. Tell everybody about us. Tell your friends, tell your league mates. Come join us. Get these mock drafts in. We're going to start ramping them up and get this thing going. So without any further ado, I guess we can go ahead and get into these grades. What do you say?
Oh yeah. Let's get it started. Throw the board up.
All right, let's do it. So we have the draft here, and NYG guy, one of the original horsemen, one of the OGs of the channel, ends up getting the 101. And I guess should we just go team by team, or you want to go round by round? I guess we go by team, right? We're doing a grade show.
Yeah. I went left to right, like old school. I don't know. And
All
I'm
right.
trying to get something done real quick to help myself out on the screen. Go ahead.
All right. So for those of us that are just listening and maybe not watching, I'll go ahead and read off the team. So this is in the 101. NYG guy. Yeah, he goes, just real quick, Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, or I'm sorry, Josh Allen, Mixon, Hall, Cousins, Kamara, Elijah Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CH, Kenny Pickett, Hunter Renfro, Dawson Knox as the tight end, Michi as the wide receiver, the rookie, Robinson, the running back up in Jacksonville, and then Mitch Trubisky. What do you think of this team? What grade did you give this as far as a dynasty startup is concerned?
Well, I think I like where you got Kamara. I wanted to mention that as a note in the fifth there. QB 3 and 4 are basically trying to get the Pittsburgh backfield and just get one QB out of that. I think you know what I mean.
Right.
Like I didn't see him like win in there, but overall I gave him a B. Those are some of the main points that I thought would stick out to me. I like the Kamara pick, but the QBs actually he just ended up with one and used 2 picks to get one.
Yeah. Now keep in mind this is 14 rounds of most dynasty teams are upwards of 25 to 30 30 players, 30 rounds that you're drafting. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of depth and potential that could be built out, but we're kind of taking a look at the core of a dynasty team. You're kind of gathering assets and trying to figure out what type of team you're able to put together. Are you going to compete now? Are you built for a year or two from now? Where are you kind of at? So as far as I do have Mike's grades here as well too. Dustin, I didn't get your grades in here, so
on that
we'll have
note,
to ask
what would you say? He's competing now. He's competing for the future.
For me, I think it's more of a win now, type build. But he does have a lot of young, pieces and just kind of a little weak at the wide receiver. So I personally gave it a B plus. Mike gave him an A minus. He said just overall good team for the future. If he's trying to win now, he's just weak at wide receiver, which is basically what I'm saying. But it has, a lot of potential over the next couple years, of course, with some additions and some trades, which is, kind of going to be the growing theme, kind of among a lot of these teams here. So yeah. So we're all, kind of in there. A minus, B, and B plus. All right. So moving on, we got 58 WK. He's one of the new drafters here with us. I believe he drafts with Mike. Mike got him in here. So shout out to 58 WK. Thanks for joining us. His team in the 2 spot goes Justin Herbert, AJ Brown, Steph Diggs, George Kittle, Cam Akers, Terry McLaurin, Jameis Winston, Rashad White, Brandon Ayuk, Chase Claypool, Rashad Penny, Mike Carter, I think it's Justin Palmer, right? And Mecole Hardman. Joshua Palmer from the Chargers. And Mecole Hardman.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Palmer.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
haven't memorized everybody yet. You know what I mean? That gets that gets sunk into my brain once to become somebody. You know what I mean?
Right. So would you go here?
You know, I'm not sure about the AJ Brown and with Philly and just taking him as a second. And that's just my opinion. I'm just not comfortable yet with AJ Brown and what he's going to be doing over there or not doing over there. You know, same thing for DK, that things like that in Seattle, basically, in a number one in a bad situation, I think. There's no third QB. That's another thing I was looking at because this is a super flex. There's not going to be many people to even pick up, or if anybody, because all the quarterbacks will be taken. So what are you going to do on a bye week? And just kind of weak at running back, I think, in general. I like that he took a rookie, but it's just not enough. You know what I mean? I think this guy was looking for the future, I personally think, hopefully. But I give him a C.
All right, comes out with the C. I'll start with Mike. Mike's a little more in line with you. He gave him a C plus.
Oh, okay.
Mike says it's kind of same thing, missing a third quarterback, which is important to have. Again, it is only 14 rounds, so there are still other guys out there. Sam Howell, Ritter, a couple of these other guys that could still be taken, a little later on, that you could build for the future. I'm sure several Superflex teams have been won without having that third, a second quarterback in that flex. But again, it is nice to have that, option, of course, because of injury or anything like that. So Mike goes C plus. I actually went B minus. I was a little higher just because I'm, a little higher on AJ Brown. I think, Steph Diggs is still a good asset. He could easily, trade him and, potentially, George Kittle off to a contender, and be able to do things with this team. So I think, it's still a good team. It is, there are some young pieces on here, but also some older pieces that do have value. So I think he get some, additional picks and things like that, moving forward. So, again, B minus for me, C plus for Mike, and C for you, right?
Yeah, C.
Nice.
I'm not doing pluses, minuses yet. Have anybody with a plus? I got somebody with a plus.
Oh, there you go. Can't wait to see now. All right, so we have in the 3 spot here, we have Pillsbury Throwboy.
Throwboy, is that what it is? Pillsbury Throwboy?
So what's up, man? His team is Big D, Joe Burrow. Then he goes Mark Andrews with the 210, followed by Jalen Waddle at the 3-3. Then goes Tua to get that stack going for his running backs after kind of going 0 RB and grabbing that tight end early. He's able to grab Dobbins and Connor. Of course, we'll see, how Dobbins is coming off this ACL. He does grab Jerry Jeudy. You did mention the whole arrest, so we'll see kind of how that happens. If anything, it might just affect more redraft as far as Dynasty. He's still a young guy. As long as he doesn't get in any more trouble, I think he'd be okay. Mooney, Juju, Christian Kirk, now in Jacksonville, Cordero Patterson, Zamir White, behind Jacobs in Las Vegas, which I think is a great pick, considering they didn't renew or extend Josh Jacobs. And then goes Calvin Ridley, which I think is kind of a wasted pick there. And then goes Darrell Henderson, which is just a little bit of depth. So overall, since I kind of just gave my breakdown as I was going, I'll just throw it out there. I gave him a B minus. Just overall, I don't think it was too strong. It's a little young, still a few years away. Mike gave him a C plus, and says he likes the team construction, the youth and the depth. He's missing a third QB, which again I still think could potentially pick up later or draft next year, 2023. But just really likes his wide receivers and his running backs, the youth there. But did give it a C plus. So where are you at with this team, Frank?
Well, I'm right there, kind of close to Mike also again. I didn't think he was that great at wide receivers. I do like Waddle. Again, the concern with Judy. You did make a good point though. It is long, keeper, so it's long term thinking. So there's plenty of time for that guy to be available for you and produce in the future. Again, the Calvin Ridley pick, I was like, what's going on with that? I don't think he was aware maybe that he's not playing or whatever's going on with him, but I don't see that as a good pick, period. And I just gave him a C. I just was not doing ups or downs on that part.
All right. So if it was an orphan team, you're kind of looking for another team. You're not jumping on this team right away, right?
Yeah, I'm not jumping on that team.
All right, there it is.
I just want to go here real quick. Jonah Archangel Eternal says that if you guys got a Discord, I can definitely do it. Some drafts, and then we got Dem Boys. There's some starters available at QB, if I remember correctly, Lock and one other, I think. And I know that I was thinking of there was another round I had picked hit number 1 for them on my team. So yeah, and Wilson's in here. So what's up? What up, Wilson?
Yep. Take a break. And did you get Sage in there? You said more drafts. Friday night mocks, man. Every Friday. If you want to get in there, make sure you like the Sleeper channel. Get in there. We'll post the link so that you can come in and draft and get your team graded. Mike's all fancy, man. Look at this. He has this little thing here. Just
I'll take the thing out.
Scan that. Oh yeah, I guess I gotta get the comment off, right? Oh well, I can't do all that. Not fancy enough for all that.
I'll leave that up for a little while, man. Nobody was able to scan that. They could at least screenshot it, then scan it.
So I think they could go back. It's recorded. They can go back, take a screenshot, and there's a link in the description. So just hit that up too. Come join us in Sleeper. Get into these mock drafts. Hit us up on Twitter, our DMs. Every Friday we're running a mock. So if you want to get in, hit us up. We'll shoot you the link. All right. So with that said,
one off here since you already read off the 3.
Yeah, there we go. So we kind of had a special guest with us here, man. Shout out to Steffi Smalls. Appreciated her coming out and mocking with us. Shout out to Wilson, who's also in this draft. One of our ambassadors for the channel. He does a lot of work with us, on Sleeper, promoting the channel, promoting our mocks, and he was able to get Steffi Smalls in here. Steffi is a fantasy football analyst as well. Been in the industry a good while, has over 18,000 followers on Twitter. So big shout out to her. I believe she's working for I had it in my notes, but we'll get back at that. But either way, we appreciate her taking her time coming out for us. It was late for her, but she had a good time putting together this team. So with that said, what are you thinking on this? I guess I'll put you on the spot first and let you grade her first.
Yeah, no, I was gonna
after all that.
Read all everybody else's. Why are we gonna stop at Steffi's now, right?
Nah.
So we're gonna she takes Mahomes off the bat, pick one. Kyle Pitts, which I thought was interesting, in the 2 spot there for her. Brought him up from what normally would be RB 4, tight end 4 or 5, taken on the redraft league, moving up quite a bit. Stafford, London. I like Etienne, Williams, and Smith. I like I like where she's going. She's got a good core, but then she takes Pollard, which is another thing that maybe she knows something that I don't know. Is she going to get that many more carries aside from Zeke and I just thought that's where her running back got kind of weak, because then she doesn't get Madison and Haskins later on. Madison's only a handcuff, at best. Picks up Fremuth. Kadarius Toney, I like. Pickens, And then finishes off with Lazard. I'm sorry, I was kind of just breaking it down as I went, and maybe some of
No,
those
you're
things were
good.
kind of weak to me. Um, I kind of pointed out the ones that I was looking at, specifically Pollard, where she took him or why she took him. I don't know. I would have drafted him a lot lower, I think. Um, so I just gave her a B.
There it is. I guess I was a little harsher than you on this one.
I was trying to be
Um,
nice. You don't want to see what I got written down, so
no,
let
I
me
know. I
see
was
what.
gonna say you're that was pretty nice of you. I was a little scared to let you go first there, but no, I'm sure she knows. She was
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm
having
saying.
fun.
She's
It's
got to know
early. We're
something that
just
maybe I don't know.
yeah, it's Friday, man. We're having a good time. That's what it's all about, in these mocks too. But we try to, make them competitive as well. I had to go B minus on this at best, because there are some good pieces there that could potentially be traded off or, bloom into something. Of course, I love the Jameson Williams pick. ETN I like as well too. Pollard, is the potential future, of Dallas there. So I think, of course, with Pitts, this team is built later. Obviously, she can move Stafford, who she actually sniped for me. I wanted to grab, him there, and I had to go Henry, which we'll, kind of talk about next. But overall, I think just great value. She was getting out of her picks. But it is it stayed out of the C range. We know she's not going to compete this year, but definitely a lot of potential for the future. So I went B minus. Let's see, Mike.
What am I got?
Ooh, Mike went harsh on here. Mike went with the C.
And
Or
honestly,
actually, I
that's what
think
I
he
have
went
written
C.
down. I was just being nice,
C
honestly.
minus. Actually, he went C minus. I'm gonna call him out. He has C
Uh,
minus. But he said this team is built for about 3 years or later.
yeah,
It's weak but young at wide receiver. He also thinks it's weak at running back, but is
yeah,
young. He does like the Hassan Haskins pick. Potentially could be the heir apparent to Henry. Um,
yeah.
I just think Mike has a lot of hate right now for Mahomes. He thinks Tyreek, leaving and being Kelsey, being older. He just thinks there's just no value in Mahomes right now. Loves the tight ends and just missing that third quarterback. So
I
he went C
disagree.
minus
It
on
was
this one.
Tyreek Hill wasn't making Mahomes. Mahomes is definitely a good
Vice
player,
versa, right?
standalone. Yeah, he doesn't need Hill. He's going to take that team, carry
We'll
it on his
see.
back, no problem.
I can't wait to see, man. I made a big trade for him in our dynasty league, so we'll see what happens. I might have
Yeah.
the roster reaper effect on him, and Mike
Excuse me.
might win out, but either way. All right, so moving on. I guess it's me up next, picking in the
Yeah,
1-5 spot. Again, for those who don't know, when we do these mocks, we randomize the draft positions. So everybody jumps in, we randomize it 3 times, and wherever you fall, you got to pick. You're on the clock, 30-second picks, and it's on. So you're making quick decisions. You didn't get to plan, your strategy where you're at. Everything's just reactive, and again, it's a lot of fun. So, of course, I see 4 of the top, quarterbacks go off the board. I'm looking at,
so
Jackson,
you're
Murray.
gonna start off with your own guy. Talk about
Yeah,
that.
I'm just gonna go kind of break it
All
down
right,
because I'm not gonna really
let's
give
hear
it.
the insight.
I'm
What
not
you were
gonna give it
thinking?
to
So
you. I'm kind of giving my little insight on it, and then I'll let you grade it
what
from
you were
there.
thinking when you were drafting?
Exactly. So I see those guys go off. I go Jonathan Taylor. Um,
You didn't like K1?
didn't want to go, Murray, Jackson, Watson, Prescott, Hurts. I didn't think any of those guys were worth the 1-5, so I went ahead and went Taylor. If
Yeah,
I didn't go Taylor, I probably would have went Jefferson, or Chase there. I would have went wide receiver, but I said, why not? Let me take the RB1, for now and try to go win now. Then I, get Wilson, go Henry, Kelsey, um, Deontay. I am hurting at, for a true wide receiver one there. Go Trey Burks, Chris Olave, Ryan Tannehill. I'm
getting
able
that
to
youth in
snag in
there.
the eighth. Yeah, some youth, but also guys that might produce this year.
Yeah,
Kind of come out of nowhere and just, be decent. Then I go Mike Williams. I think I'm going to round out with some veteran wide receivers later that'll
yeah,
produce now, but get that, future built in there. And then, of course, I almost brought the house down when everybody saw me actually draft Brandon Cooks. Almost kind of shut the stream down when that happened. But I did go him at that pick. Followed it up with Miles Sanders, which is, my RB3, and then going a little youth with Tyler Algier, who I actually got in our actual Dynasty draft. Then went for McBride as a backup tight end, considering Kelsey, would phase out. And then I went DJ Chark, who could potentially be the wide receiver one in Detroit this year with my whole win now strategy. And then, of course, 14 other rounds to, ran some other guys out. But that's was kind of my core there. So what do you think?
Well, I'll give you the grade off the bat. B plus. I like the 2 rookies wide receivers. I like that youth that you got there. I like the Tyler Algier pick also later, and I seen what you were doing with McBride is also just kind of hedging your bet for the future with Kelsey there. So you're definitely trying to think now, but more kind of planning in the future. So you have a chance, a shot if you want to, if hopefully everybody stays healthy and things work out for you. You could win now and potentially get set up for the future, or at least trade some pieces off for that. The only knock I did have is that, you didn't have that third QB also, which we'd like to see, which is one of your,
Right.
oh
yeah,
staples as well, mentioning that third QB. I know you could get one later, but I thought at this point, maybe that, Sanders or I don't know, somebody somewhere in there you could have got a Wentz or Willis, or somebody instead of the Brandon Cooks. I don't know. You know what I mean? Just like around there. But yeah, B plus, man.
Cool. Appreciate it.
What did Mike give you?
Let's see. So Mike gave me a B minus. He says, missing that third quarterback. He said, looks like I went for a win now type team. Does have, some youth and with a veteran, mix. So I guess you'd say a balanced team, which, could be almost detrimental. Kind of forces me to decide which way I need to go with the team, depending on how, the season starts to play out. So that's what you do, man. In Dynasty, you're trying to figure out, what you want to do. Things could change as the season goes on, and then you can start selling pieces off or acquiring pieces, selling off your assets to, put yourself in the position that, you have an idea for. So moving on.
Hey, so I want to bring it back real quick. The guy's voice says,
I'm glad you're watching
she was a little tipsy and made fun of her team plenty. So I think she knows that she had issues. So that explains a little bit. We've been there a couple times ourselves where just get a little tipsy in the evening, it's relaxed time, you're having a little fun, you're doing some mock drafts,
Friday night,
having a drink, what I'm saying?
That's what fantasy football's all about.
Smalls is always tipsy.
That's what's up.
And the boys is a Shark is not the RWR1 in Detroit, especially once Williams is healthy.
I just meant early.
Yeah. Early in the season.
I think Jameson Williams doesn't come until about week 7 after their bye. I think they have a bye in week 6. Speaking of which, NFL schedule dropped. I do have that up here in case we need some small talk. I noticed the whole NFC. What are you guys? NFC East?
NFC East. We're going to have a go at it.
You guys all have like the weakest strength of schedule. Like all 4 of you guys. Yeah.
Really? I thought it was a hard schedule for Dallas.
No. Giants are 0.65 opponent win percentage. Philadelphia Eagles are 0.464. Dallas Cowboys are 0.62. And then last is Washington Commanders, also with 4.62 as far as opponent strength of schedule. Yeah, no, that's the least. You and the Commanders are tied for the easiest strength of schedule. Yeah.
Who would have thought? I didn't see it that way at all.
Well, according to the NFL 2022's strength of schedule, opponent win percentage from last year, that's what it says. But that was last year, so we'll see what happens this year. A lot of changes happen.
Yeah.
A lot of things have happened. All right, so moving on. Next team, 106 spot, we got Mike, classic Mike. In the 6th spot goes Kyler Murray, Javonte Williams, Saquon Barkley, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Jacobs, Amari Cooper, Marquise Brown, Hollywood, and then he goes Sutton, Gabe Davis, Mike Gesicki as his tight end, then goes Daniel Jones as his QB3, followed by Ronald Jones as his QB4, Rojo. Then goes Davis Pierce, San Francisco's rookie running back, and then Waylon Gabriel, or I'm sorry, Waylon, what is it? Wandale Robinson. Got to get these new rookies. They're rolling off my tongue. But Robinson, of course, goes with this homer pick at the 14-7. So Mike's team, you want to go first on this one, or
where we go? Mike's team, Mike. I gave him a B. You like the two rookies he's got, and especially at the end, the guys you were just mentioning right there, Wando and Davis. No, it was just there's nothing flashy on the team. I don't think. I think it's constructed well. Going quarterback, running back, quarterback, and then he starts, just pouring in on the wide receivers. Obviously, filling in where he can. I didn't see that it's set up for the future that much. More, it's set up for win now. But he threw a couple pieces in there.
Yep. And that's what I said. I gave him a B as well. I said it was a mix between young and old. Kind of could be a middle of the pack team when trying to win now, but just might not have enough talent to be a win now compared to some of the other constructions. So he'll just kind of decide, which way he wants to go. But definitely has a chance to compete this year if he wants to sell off, some assets to fill in some spots. So overall, not bad. We both gave it a B. Mike didn't grade himself. So we'll move on.
Yeah.
Awkward Shark Dad. What's up, Awkward? Nice team he put together here. Goes Justin Jefferson at the 1-7. Then goes Jalen Hurts, followed by Tyreek Hill. His RB1 is Antonio Gibson, followed by his wide receiver 2, Michael Pittman. And then goes Michael Evans as his wide receiver 4. So four nice wide receivers in the top 6, using 4 out of the 6, picks on wide receivers. Then goes A.J. Dillon as his RB2, followed by Ramondre Stevenson. Or I'm sorry, Zach Wilson, then Ramondre Stevenson. Then goes Dallas Goedert, Carson Wentz, Devin Singletary, Jacoby Myers, followed by Khalil Herbert in the 14th round. Where do you have this team graded?
Well, it's definitely strong at wide receiver, weak at running back. I put down, and just okay at QB, I guess. I like Hurts, but let's see how it works out with Wilson and Wentz here. I just gave him a strong C+. He's a C+ to me right now.
There you go. I'll talk for Mike first. Mike gave Awkward Shark Dad a B+. He says he likes this team. It's a good mix of youth and elite talent. Slightly weak at running back right now. Things could change in the next few years, but running backs are not for now. His wide receivers are elite talents. He likes the QBs and great to evaluate and become great with a decent veteran QB. So could make a couple moves, be in contention. Has some great pieces, just overall nice assets. Could go either way. I gave him a B as well. Pretty much saying kind of the same thing. Just his QBs were my only kind of overall concern as far as being like, yeah, this is the team to look out for.
Yeah.
Of course, if he would have got Dak, instead of Jalen Hurts, but again, Jalen puts up fantasy points. He may not be that great. We may not know his future. But I think he was QB6 last year. You can't argue with that. So,
and they're giving him the trust. They're not backing away from him. He's definitely the guy to lose the job. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody contending for the position now for sure this year. It's just him. And I don't know. Zach Wilson was putting up some decent numbers, but Wentz is, where is he at now? You know what I mean? He's at Washington. Right. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's just not looking too great right there. But I mean, that's just a side point compared, to Justin Jefferson and Hill and Pittman, Evans, definitely good wide receiving core. Definitely something to build on, and that's why I was at C plus. I think he's building onto something. And then he didn't take really any rookies. Like, who did he take? Khalil Herbert, I guess, because he's a backup. He's like a side guy. Stevenson.
I mean,
Singletary.
Jefferson is young, Pittman's young, Dillon's young, Wilson's young, Stevenson's young.
But I'm just saying rookies in general, though, not just young.
Yeah, no, like rookies per se, but again, there are still 14 other rounds, 16 other rounds that are going to happen. He could easily go get Carson Strong, who might be the QB2 behind Jalen Hurts, so he might have the heir apparent there. So again, when it's Dynasty, there's a lot of things that could kind of happen, there. So anyway, we'll move on. Nice team, awkward. We'll go to Ryan M. Hick, our friend from up north, our Canadian friend.
Let's see. I like this team. I like the Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott started solid with this, QBs, Cook, Higgins, Chubb. So you got some decent running backs there, getting the wide receiver involved in there. And he gives Wilson, and TJ Hawkinson. And then he comes back with Zeke again, shoring up his running back core. And he gets Watson again, just getting some youth there, basically, you know what I mean? Like the wide receiver part. That's what I think he's weakest at, though. Then he rounds off the QBs with Jared Goff. Then I like the Spiller there where he has him. That's a nice pick. I think that he's going to be doing something here in the future. Hold on a second, my screen kind of covered up. Tolbert, Robinson. Tolbert. Even Pierce, another rookie right there. He definitely is kind of building for the future, I believe. And I think he has a chance to compete with what he has now. He just needs to kind of, figure out what he's doing at wide receiver, and hopefully maybe some of these guys pan out. But I think he's got a very good running back core and quarterback core. So I give him a B plus on that.
Absolutely. I think I was pretty close with that as well. It's exactly what I did. We all three actually gave a B plus to Ryan M. Hick here, myself.
That's consensus. That's our first consensus.
Well. So yeah, consensus B plus there. So nice job, Ryan M. Hick. Definitely invested in some young. These are my comments.
Hello? I lost your audio. Can you hear me now?
All right, can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. You're back.
There we go. We were just talking about this on Dynasty Pylon. Anyway, invested in some young wide receiver backbone with two top quarterbacks that are older, or he's older at running back, but it's a nice core to build around and can compete if he can acquire like a veteran wide receiver. So maybe turn Zeke into like a nice wide receiver, high-end wide receiver too. Or better.
Well, that's why I like that he took Spiller and Robinson late as his basically future running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What I thought he was solid on. Wide receivers where, let's see if Tolbert and Pierce and Watson work out for him. Like he's taking a lot of chances at wide receiver.
Right, but I like it. I like where he went. If this was an orphan team and I saw that team this year, I would say, yeah, let me mess with that. So
yeah, you could do something with that.
Exactly. Just want to catch up on the chat here, just so you guys know. We'll get to it just a little late on this, but he said he's still behind St. Brown, in my opinion, when we were talking about DJ Chark not being the wide receiver one in Detroit. Jonas says, Jonas says, I really want to do the mocks with you guys, but he works on Friday nights. I'm sorry, man, but make sure you join that sleeper because if you do, we will do other mocks other times. We'll do them. It may not be streamed or graded, but we have a lot of guys in there. If you want to throw a link, in the channel, I'm sure you could get 11 other guys in there who'd be down to mock with you. So make sure you do that. Utilize the channel. If you want to know how to do that, just hit me up on the DM through Sleeper. So check it out, man, and we'll get in some of these mocks with you. And Wilson says the mocks do start late. They do start late. He just says he works late on Friday. So Wilson's the ambassador. He's handling.
Let him talk.
Yeah, he's handling that in there for us. So appreciate that, Wilson. Get Jonah involved in the mocks. Appreciate the ambassadors.
We should do a Sunday night mock.
We'll get in there. We'll have some variations, man, for sure. For sure. All right, so we're almost done, man. We're powering through this thing. We're making good on time, and let's get it done, man. So let's go to Luke.
5229.
Yeah, Luke 5229. I believe Mike either got him in here or maybe Wilson brought him in. So shout out again to Luke. Welcome to Get Right. Hopefully you're out there watching. Goes with one of my favorites, Jamar Chase with his first round pick, followed by Deshaun Watson and then Trey Lance. Then goes DK Metcalf, followed by DJ Moore. RB1 and Kenneth Walker. Goes Rashad Bateman after that. Grabs his tight end in Dalton Schultz, followed by Dameon Pierce, running back out of Houston. Then goes Johan Dotson, wide receiver out of Washington. Tight end Cole Kmet. Then David Bell, slot receiver out of Cleveland, the rookie, followed by Chase Edmonds. And then Matt Corral in the 14th. So Luke's team here. What do you think?
Man, you're gonna ask me first, man. I don't know.
Oh, let's go with Mike first. Here, you can put your thoughts together.
Let me say a couple things about a couple players.
Okay, go ahead.
Trey Lance, still not the starter. Metcalf, who knows what's going on with Seattle. And he ended up, getting Walker also as the running back over there as his first running back off the board. So I think he's definitely thinking future with that. I don't know. It's like a mix of that. Because it seemed like he was like right here, Jamar Chase.
Pretty young team.
Yeah, it's very young. DJ Moore, it's just
oldest player is like 26.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it's like he's definitely building for the future, and I'm not sure if he could win now. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't see that happening for him, but he's definitely got pieces for the future, and if you keep that in mind, you give him I give him a C+. I don't know. It just was like something's not there for me. But I mean, if you're looking at it the other way, or if you're building for the future and things like that, maybe you're like the B range for sure.
Yeah. So for Luke, Mike went B+. Mike says that he's weak at running back, very weak actually at running back, but has high potential ceiling running backs if they pan out. He is solid at wide receivers, some youth with vets, as QBs are to be determined. If Watson is out and Jimmy G gets the start over Lance, then you're incredibly weak at quarterback. So there's plenty of options to be a solid option just for insurance, and he is solid at tight end. So, again, this team could go either way, a lot of risk to it. So with that said, Luke still went B+. I couldn't go that high. I fell in at a B, just a little bit lower than that, just because, again, I think it is a nice foundation, especially at wide receiver, which is how I like to build my dynasty teams. But I do also like to have those quarterbacks to build around in dynasty as well, too. And to me, I said they're a little sus, but it could pan out by the time, this team is ready. So even if Deshaun's suspended this whole year, this team's not ready to compete this year. But in a couple years, if these, players pan out, it could be a nice team. So I couldn't fall in the C range, but couldn't quite get to a B+. So I fell in right there at a B.
So that's a C+ or a B? Oh, you said B?
I went B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
B for me.
You're just being nice.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, it's just beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It all just depends on
and
which way you want to do.
I think of all these teams, he's clearly looking to the future.
Yeah. So Jonah said Sunday night would be lit. So maybe you're onto something there. We might have to throw out a.
You know why I
Sunday
say
night
that,
mock
man?
in
Because
there.
it's like the one
Sunday's
night
the football
that I'm
day.
like, well, till football season starts is the point. You know what I mean? Because it's the one day, like after my weekend's over, I'm like chilling. I come home. Maybe I went camping. Maybe I went fishing, this and that. But I'm finally home resting on Sunday night, relaxing, and that's when you can get some stuff in. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I look, and I think that's for a lot of people. They're home after a weekend of doing this, that, and the other. They're basically getting ready for their Monday, and they got maybe an hour to kill before they go to bed. Bam, get a mock in.
Exactly. 30-second picks. It takes like 30 minutes, if that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Them boys in here saying mock season is just starting. Once we get ramped up, someone will be hosting mocks almost every day. So that's what the ambassadors are here for. That we'll be running mocks daily. We have that tournament going. Mocks every night, followed by a mock of champions on Friday night, and then the winners of those, move on to a championship mock for a chance to win, some cash prizes. So stay tuned to all that coming up in the future. Wilson says, yeah, the best way to keep in contact, like Ross has said, is join the channel on Sleeper because we're awesome. And I'd have to agree with Wilson. And it looks like Dim Boys agrees with that comment as well, too.
That's fire.
So,
it's fire.
moving on. I'm sure we'll get to it. Both these guys that we're just talking about are the next two teams coming up. So they've been waiting, I'm sure, this whole time to break their team down. We know they're in here, so we might spend a little extra
he's in here.
Little extra time since they are in here.
Yeah. So I want to start off with the Wilson, and the reason I want to, well, you'll see in a second.
Well, he is next, so I mean that's a pretty good reason.
Well, I'm saying as far as you've done a couple other ones, I've only done a couple. So.
I know what you mean. Okay,
Najee, we're start off with Najee, Eckler. So he gets his two running backs, and he goes to two quarterbacks in Rodgers and Brady. Obviously, Brady's probably last year or whatever, but who knows, right? To be determined, right? Aaron Jones, another great running back, and he kicks it off with Keenan Allen for his first wide receiver. I can't believe Darren Waller was the tight end taken so late. I mean, what happened to that guy? Did he fall off that much? Because last time I checked it, the Las Vegas Raiders are trying to do things. They paid all kinds of money to Derek Carr, and they're trying to still be a viable and contending team. So I think that's a great spot to take the tight end there. Hopkins and Robinson.
I mean, he is 29 years old, but I mean, still.
Yeah, I mean, still younger than Kelsey and Kittle, right?
Right. Yeah, him and Kittle are about the same age, but yeah.
Okay. But he's still balling. Anyways, he's still balling, right?
Yeah.
Gordon, backup or whatever he is nowadays, but maybe starter still. Lockett, that's a good place to take him so late, and Bobby Tree's there. Then he backs it up with Jimmy G as a third quarterback, and then Parker. So as you notice, it was like I don't feel that there is too much youth on this team. I just think his team was built to win now.
Agreed.
And because of that, because you could see the clear of what he's doing altogether. I like the running back quarterback core. He could use some help in the wide receivers, but I think he has depth to do so. So I give him an A. He's my only A.
Wow. Wilson.
That's what's up.
Getting the A.
I gave an A out. This is it.
Getting the A. I was close there, man. I guess I'll go next. I gave him a B+, man.
Okay.
I said it's built to win this year.
Yeah.
To me, he'd be on the top of the power rankings, most likely. But if things didn't pan out or a couple injuries, shook out, he'd kind of need to retool immediately. Not get, full value because people would know he is trying to sell off to get younger, so probably can't maximize value. But, could find a team that is in contention that needs a piece that would very well trade off maybe a couple picks, for a couple of these guys and maybe a couple other pieces. So
yeah, but that's what he's trading off.
Can't argue with the way you build it.
Championship in the future, you know what I mean? Like he's going to get that now.
You got to recognize it. If you see that everyone else is kind of going youth, then you might have to go all those vets and just take down the first one. So I respect it. Appreciate that he did it. Again, great ambassador to the show for the brand. I appreciate everything you do out there, Wilson. Again, you got the A from Frank, B+ from me. Mike came in with the B. He says just definitely in a win now mode. It is an older team at the moment. Didn't really take any rookies this year besides Harris, but it's still a solid team. So he just gave you a B. But again, I think with 15 more rounds, you put a little bit of this youth, behind this team. And again, if this was an orphan team, it might be one of the ones you just grab first and say, okay, I'll win now. why'd this guy have to leave this league? I'll take this team right away. So a lot of options with that.
The key word is winning. Winning now. You know what I mean?
Win now. Yeah. Get your
Hey,
belt.
you don't know what's going to happen in the future with some of these guys. You know what I mean? Like you're still rolling dice with everybody. You know what I mean? At least he's got some names. You know what's going on with these guys.
You go Calvin Ridley on you, and then just done.
Yeah, exactly.
No value.
Exactly. Done. Exactly. No
just
value.
get it done. Yeah. All right. So there it is, man. So Wilson, again, appreciate everything. Wilson saying, wow, thanks, Frank. Getting the A from Frank. He knows, man. He knows that it takes a lot to get an A from you.
Yeah, I don't have to give him out, man, ever. I don't like to do it.
More power to you. And again, we're not kissing his butt, man. That's a true A that he gave out there. So even though you did,
you were on, because I was, I didn't know if you were on or not or anything.
Appreciate it, man. So, appreciate everything you do.
My notes. So it's in my notes.
All right, so we'll get on here. Almost done. 2 teams left. Next, we have Dim Boys DC for life. In the chat, as we know, one of the first ones in, last ones to leave. Again, appreciate everything you do for the channel, and just being a great guy that in a couple leagues with now. So a lot of fun to have around, man. Whole family. Anyway, we could talk for days about Dim Boys. So anyway, let's get into his team, man. Let's break it down. So you want to go ahead and break this one down too? Go ahead.
Hey,
you guys, you Cowboys, you guys can stay together.
DeAndre Swift, Samuel, Debo, and Montgomery. So he's going wide receiver and running back off the top. And he goes Justin Fields for the youth over in Chicago. Second-year QB going on. Chris Godwin, solid. Damian Harris, he's pretty young over there in New England. Davis Mills in Houston, also very young.
You like him.
Yeah, I like him. He's throwing up his points. I like how he took Michael Thomas this late in round 9. Hopefully something works out for him. And he's still a very decent wide receiver now. And having the last year off probably helped him. Malik Willis, I'm very high on him also. So he's got his third QB in there. Not necessarily somebody can help him this year, but definitely a piece to build on. Kareem Hunt, he's always scoring his points. Gallup, another young wide receiver, moving into the number 2 spot right there with CeeDee Lamb. So, hopefully he produces and starts basically getting that third-year breakout numbers or whatever this year. Zach Ertz, I like where he took him so late. He's been productive over there in Arizona, and taking him so late, that's a nice spot. And OBJ to round off the team. I don't really care for him, but hey, that's a good pick where he got him. So why lie? So I ended up giving him a B+.
Ooh, nice. B+ for Dim Boys. There it is. Couldn't get the A, but got the B+.
Yeah,
he doesn't really
care for the running backs that he has.
So that actually is a pretty good
I would have took
well.
Eckler over Swift where he was at.
Okay. Well, Swift, I believe, is a little younger.
Yeah,
23 versus 26.
I just think Eckler scores more.
Kind of like Eckler light, if you will. So anyway, I'll go, I guess let's go with Mike. Mike gave him a B+ as well.
Oh, there we go.
I wonder if we have a consensus. Says he's kind of weak at QB this year. I think Fields and Mills could potentially be top 15 type guys. Maybe your kind of Kirk Cousins-ish, type production overall. Willis will have to wait a season or so. Loves the rest of the team. Has a good mix of young vets, mostly young running backs. His wide receivers are older but very productive, which to me means he could easily sell those off as assets to a win now team and just load up on either picks or pick player plus picks or picks. So you never know what could happen, especially with Cup. Very high asset to someone that's at the trade deadline, that guy that maybe second or third place.
If he still had Debo, Godwin, and Thomas behind him.
Yeah,
if you did trade out Cup, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah, and still looking good. So, and he is saying he said damn, almost got the A. He was close. Like I said, he doesn't even give the pluses, but he gave you the B+. He couldn't leave you at a B. And Dim Boys is confirming he did take Swift because of the age over Eckler. And he's saying Debo and Godwin and Gallup aren't old at all. And they're not. And of course, Gallup, just want to go back to that guy. They think fond of him, signing him.
No,
with
I
a
didn't say that
5-year
he was
deal.
old. Anthony said that
$62.5 million.
or they said
$62.5 million for Michael Gallup coming off a torn ACL.
Yeah. They believe
just
in
crazy.
That guy.
Yeah, crazy to me. Odell Beckham can't sign coming off his torn ACL, but they'll sign Michael Gallup to $62.5 million. Let's go. Nice to be a wide receiver. So anyway, that's where we're at. So B+ from him. I just missed the consensus. I had to drop him down just to a B, just because I think he's kind of stuck in this middle of a compete now or build for the future. But I said it is nice because he does have trade prices valuable for others while not actually hurting his core. Like he could trade off some very good pieces that won't actually hurt him, if that makes sense. Again,
because it was a decent, very good draft. That's why.
Right, because he drafted so well and got so good value. And I think this team can definitely compete, in the future. So I'll just bump it up and say I'll go B+ just to go consensus.
The consensus. I like you, Another consensus.
There you go. B+. Since we didn't give him the A, we'll at least go all 3 B+.
Right.
Exactly. And he said, in fairness, it is OBJ's second torn ACL, and true. True. The Raiders did draft a running back who tore both of his ACLs as well, or had two. I think it was.
Yeah, he had two. Yeah, he had two torn ACLs.
Zamir White, I believe it was. So anyway. So there it is. All right. So last team, man, and then we'll wrap it up. Kind of right on time. Doing pretty good on time here. We have the one, the only Cody McGoats, man. He was able to join Mike on the stream, so we appreciate him for coming out on the stream, helping Mike out since I couldn't make it on Friday, and drafted his team, man. It was his first draft, he said, of the year, so he was trying to tell people to go a little easy on him. It's his first draft of the year, but you got to get that first one out of the way. So why not do it while you're mocking live on YouTube? Why not? Any other way? And again, for those who don't know, Cody is, again, a new channel, a new, show we have on Get Right Fantasy Network, the 2-a-days podcast. So if you haven't already, make sure you go over there and subscribe to his channel as well. You'll be able to find his content here on Get Right Fantasy, and we're definitely looking forward to the partnership and have it on there. So let's see how he does with this team, man. He's picking on the turn in the 12th spot, which towards the end of the year we really started liking. Last year, remember, it was like, oh yeah, just well, maybe not necessarily in Dynasty, but in redraft, we were like, oh yeah, just get the two quarterbacks, and then boom, hit the 2 running backs, and then boom, fill out wide receiver. It was like just like clockwork in that 12th spot, the way things fell last year. But let's see what he did on the turn here this year. So go ahead, Frank. I'm tired of hearing myself talk.
Yeah, shut up. I do want to point out Christian McCaffrey that we were just talking about earlier at the beginning of the show, where he would end up in the draft and whatnot. Well, here we go. He's at the 112. I know this is a Superflex and it's, a little bit different,
Dynasty,
obviously Dynasty, blah, blah. But however, he did fall. And I said, wouldn't it be a nice spot to get him at the 112? Because then you could get him and somebody else and kind of feel okay. You know what I mean? Because then you got 2 decent guys, because you're not going to get another pick for a while and all that kind of stuff. So that's what, that's kind of like where I would like to take him. So he takes McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Adams, and then David Carr, and then Fournette. So he's getting
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I did say Derek Carr.
No, you said David again.
I said Derek. I just say the way I say it. It sounds like that.
Okay.
Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones. Young. He's doing some things over there in New England. We got Cook and Mitchell, Elijah. I don't know. I always wonder about those San Francisco running backs because they just have so many. And I don't know who's on first right now. Can you tell me, Anthony, who's over there?
Yeah, Mitchell's the RB1 right now, but
they
did re-sign Wilson. He is there. They also re-signed JaMychal Hasty, and then they also still have Chase Sermon, and they also signed or drafted another running back, more of a
Right.
goal line bruiser back.
So
And Pierce Davis or Davis Pierce, something like that. Travis Davis Pierce, something like that.
yeah, so the only reason I mentioned
Anyway.
that is just like any other running back that's on like New England. It's too much running back by committee, and I think that's what San Francisco has become or is becoming. And that's just kind of the only worry I have, honestly. More Ryan, Ito Smith,
Like
Adam
that Sky
Thielen.
Moore pick, though. Don't just gloss
Yeah.
over that. It's a
Well, I was
beautiful
going to
pick.
come back to the fact that he's got a
Okay.
couple of rookies and things like that going on here. Uh, Ingram and more. Rondo, I like Rondo finishing it off. But yeah, that is his rookie, like highlight basically on this team. So, I mean, would you end up giving him since I just read it off?
Oh, see, I wasn't even ready for that. Let's see. So I went with I was kind of just in the B range for everybody because again, just really depends on. It's hard to grade these,
Yeah,
so
it
it's
is
more about
really
the
is.
breakdown. So I kind of gave it a B. I didn't hate it. Built to win now, but I don't think he's running away with it. He definitely has some assets. So after this year, he can kind of move around, so he's not kind of stuck in the middle. But definitely has a team, he could compete with this year. Um, again with Ryan and Carr, of course, with that Carr and Adams stack, with that youth and Lamb and McCaffrey, if he stays healthy, is nice. As we're talking about, Fournette's
Hmm.
like the RB like 5 or 6 in redraft this year, if not better. James Cook could be huge in PPR this year.
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell could be the RB1, like they were trying to make Mostert if he can stay healthy. Why not? They were pretty much giving it to him. Let's just hope he can make some strides in the passing game. And Trey Lance doesn't, take rushing touchdowns from him. That's another potential worry if Lance does get the starting job. And, other than that, that's why I couldn't go, kind of too high. There is some question marks, so I went B. Um,
Yeah.
but
He's
again,
got
not
two
bad for your
rookies. He's kind
first
of
mock.
looking to see what he could get in the future. But honestly, I think he's more built to win now. But he's in the middle of the pack. I think that when you said it the best, when you said that he's in the middle, and I don't see him like doesn't look like wow. You know what I mean? Like the team doesn't look not that fancy. Who knows? Maybe it works out that way. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
McCaffrey could come back and be his old self, and then now we're eating our words. Carr could earn his money there with the Adam stack that you were mentioning. And Fournette, finishing our RB5. I still worry about
He's
the
still fairly
running
young at
back.
26.
The running back is what I'm most worried about, though. Even I guess it doesn't matter as long as him and McCaffrey and Fournette work out. You don't have to worry about Cook or Mitchell, and those are the pieces maybe you could trade off or do things with, or I don't see anybody really going for much else that he has on his team.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, well, it's good. B. That's a
There it
solid B
is.
all around. What Mike
Mike,
say?
yeah, Mike gave him a B minus. Says he likes his quarterbacks. His running backs have a ton of potential. Has a good mix at wide receivers, underrated tight end, and a ton of
That's Tim
potential to
Boy's
be a
favorite
great
team.
tight end. Yeah, Dimboy says it's his favorite team. And Jonah even commented here saying that Mac in round 6 feels really good in a dynasty
Yeah, I
startup.
like Mac. I
So
like Mac. Yeah.
there it is. I can't come to fathom to draft a guy that can literally go through an entire game of football and not like really throw a pass that gets him 2 passes in a game. I just can't do it, man. Can't do it. But anyway, that's we'll talk about that more as the year goes on.
Yeah.
So we made it, man. 1
Yeah,
through
we
12.
got it done.
Our
1 through
first
12, up and
dynasty.
down.
It's kind of hard to it's hard to really, draft these, a lot more rounds, happen. And a lot of, trades and things, could potentially happen, on how these things shake out. But for the most part, it is about, finding that core and deciding, which way you're going to go. So hopefully we're able to, just bring some insight in there for those of you guys who are getting into your dynasty, maybe starting up your first dynasty league, or getting into another one, just kind of seeing how some of these guys are falling in these drafts. So again, pretty competitive mock in there. A lot of guys in here that know, what they're doing. So it's just nice to see how these guys will start moving around. And just one thing I do want to point out before we kind of head out, with that said, is last year, remember the consensus 101 and 102 last year were some combination of Christian McCaffrey and Patrick Mahomes. Now we see McCaffrey falling all the way to the 112 from the 102, and we have Mahomes falling from 101 to 104. With 3 quarterbacks actually going ahead of him. So, of course, the loss of Tyreek Hill is definitely showing what people are, truly thinking. So, let's see. Jonah saying, I think that was the game plan because Bill can't beat Buffalo's secondary. Oh, yeah, he's talking about the whole attempts. Yeah, that's just,
I like it.
I like it. Way to go, Jonah. I'm happy to be back,
On
man.
that
Just
note,
want to do
well,
this
on
again.
that high note, I like
Absolutely,
that.
man. That was good. So we appreciate it, man. We're gonna get in here. We'll probably open up the mock for this Friday. We're gonna do a 12-team redraft. We might do a 1 QB just to see maybe if we can get some of these other guys in these later rounds. And for those of you that play in the 1 QB leagues instead of the Superflex, of course, myself, I do prefer the Superflex. You just get all those other picks in there. It feels like you get a ton of more value when those quarterbacks are taken early like that. But again, for those 1 QB leagues, of course, that I am in, got to get those mocks in there too. So we'll see what we're going to do. If you are interested, make sure you reach out to us on Sleeper or on our Twitter at Rostafarin. Check it out. Get a hold of one of our ambassadors. Get in the description. It's all in there. Anything else you want to add to that, Frank? Or
No. Let's get on with another mock next Friday night. Maybe work something up for Sundays or some other days like you mentioned here. And that's it, man. Hey, it's a good show.
Definitely. Again, appreciate Steffi Smalls for coming out with us. Really appreciate you taking the time. And other than that, man, we're out.